say is our main path is we need to get people talking about money in an open way. Money used to be sort of secret. You might have asked your parents, how much money do you make? And they'd poo-poo you. They wouldn't answer for whatever reason. So we need to open up that dialogue. That's a big thing. And how we advocate that we do that with parents is kids can't manage what they don't have. You can teach someone to swim, but until they get in the water, you don't know if it's going to work. You can teach somebody to play hockey, but until they get on the ice, they don't understand the real dynamics of ice is slippery and how the game works. So we tell parents they need to give their kids an allowance. Simple as that. And not tied to chores. So when I grew up, it was like you get an allowance if you clean your room and feed the dog. Sometimes I cleaned my room, sometimes I fed the dog. I usually got allowance anyway. And when I didn't and they said I can't have it, then there was a big fight at home. So my mom has become my boss. Who loves their boss every day? Not usually. So money became something we fought about rather than something we talked about. So we advocate giving kids an allowance, but doing it for money management only and putting some rules around that money. And one of the rules that this is Lance's way of dealing with his kids, and his kids were younger when we started this, is they have what they call allowance hour. Once every 2 weeks, and they pick a night that everybody can be home. There's no soccer, ballet kind of crazy schedule. They have allowance hour. And if the kids want their allowance, they have to show up. When they show up to allowance hour, they get their allocated amount, and then they divide it amongst several categories. And they talk about money at a different topic. So they talk about, did they earn money that week? Were they gifted money that week? Did they buy something with their money? How are they doing? And a great story, and it's in our book. It's kind of a spoiler alert, but it's a great little story. One of his youngest kids, I think Nick was about 8, I'm going from memory, and he wanted to save up for Lego. And so he had a jar specifically to save up for something he wanted, his Lego. And every time he'd go to the store with his mom, he'd run to the toy department to see if it was on sale. How many kids at 8 even know such a thing as sale, right? So that was one of the things they talked about, is you can get it for the right price. Well, one of the days he ran to the section. It was on sale. He believed he had enough money in his jar, and he was really excited about it. So he ran back to his mom and said, I can buy it, I can buy it, I can buy it. She said, you don't have quite enough because there's tax. And you need another week or 2 of allowance to pay for the tax. As you can well imagine, Nick was pretty bummed out, and off they went home. At the next allowance hour, that was one of the topics that came up, was that Nick was disappointed. He thought he had enough and he didn't. And what was tax about? Who at 8, 10, 12, 14 talks about tax?